Do you need encouragement to turn tragedies into your own triumphant life story? If so, this podcast is for you. Listen to powerful guests who have persevered through challenges so you can gain strength to build your championship life. The host of Professor of Perseverance podcast, Dr. James Perdue.
All right, hey, let's go on and get started here. Thank you for coming in. And it's time for us to get some inspiration, motivation. Give me something to fire me up to get the day going. Or where our podcast person, our guest is, her day is ending. All right, she's way ahead of us or way behind us. What is it? I don't know. We'll
Ahead.
find out if she's either way ahead or way behind, but we'll find out here in a second. And so, so go ahead and grab your one good gold nugget. Grab 3 or 4 of them if you can. One good nugget that's going to help you get through your next hardship, difficulty, challenge, and share it. Pay it forward. Help the next person ahead of you. Don't take it with you to the grave. You're not helping anyone. All right, let's go and get started here. Our guest today, she says she went from homelessness, depression, and thankfully, a failed suicide attempt. She's been able to heal her trauma and build a 7-figure business. She also helps other women, first generation, to go from there. So welcome to the show. And here, Adaku.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And you told me Adaku, and I said, I'll try my best. And your last name?
Mbagwu.
All right. I'm sorry. I won't get that one right. So I don't want to butcher it. So we'll go from there. But I can do the Adaku. So, all right. So, all right. The question is, are you ahead of us or behind us? We're in the morning. You're late at night.
I am. I guess I'm 10 hours ahead of you.
There you go. So you're on the other side of the world ahead of us right now. So
I am.
All right. I enjoy meeting people on the opposite end, and because if it weren't for technology, I wouldn't get to meet people like y'all on the other side. Just be talking to my neighbor all the time and sitting on the front porch drinking lemonade and watch the cars go by. So technology is great.
It is.
I tell people technology is great when it's working, because there's times it's not working and we get all frustrated.
Right. I'm not a fan of technology when it's not working. But yeah, I think I also miss those intimate moments with our neighbor. But yeah, technology also connects us to people that maybe we wouldn't have crossed paths with. So
yeah, we freak out. I don't know about y'all, but when our electricity goes off for storms or they're working on the lines or whatever, and we're going 3 hours, we can't do technology. And then we're going, how did people make it 100 years ago? Sitting on the front porch, drinking lemonade and talking to the neighbor. So
they didn't know what they were missing. So there was nothing to miss. Whereas we do.
I tell you what, my mom, she'll be 86 next week, and she still has the old flip phone, not a smartphone or anything. And she's never done a computer, never. I've tried to get her on to talk, but she doesn't care about it. And I was telling her she may be the smartest of all of us, not getting caught up in all this technology and stuff like that. So maybe. So all right, Adaku, let's go ahead and get started here. So you throw us into your story where you think's fit, and we'll jump in with you.
Sure. So my background is that I was born in Nigeria, born into a really wealthy situation. My dad was a businessman and was the first millionaire of his village. And I don't have too many memories of that time. I was in Nigeria till I was 6 years old. And the reason we left is because my dad's businesses started to collapse. And because he has not had an education, his biggest fear was that if he lost everything, that me and my siblings wouldn't have an education, because he wouldn't be able to afford to put us through the best schools. So because my mum was born in the UK, he told her to move over to the UK with us. And things went from kind of night and day in the UK. So my mum was in Nigeria with her family, living with her, had staff, drivers, nannies, all of the things, to be in by herself in a new country, 3 children, pregnant with her 4th. And even though she had she was a qualified teacher, she didn't have the standard of education that would allow her to get a teaching job. So she was able to supply teach, which meant that sometimes there was work and sometimes there wasn't. And when there wasn't any work, she would supplement our kind of expenses on credit cards, which obviously eventually caught up on her.
Yeah.
So from, yeah.
Let me, it's a question here. And this is amazing because it reminds me of my grandfather. You said,
Mm,
Dad, no formal education, but he
no.
was able to work, sustain, be successful, first millionaire in the village where you're living. So my grandfather wasn't the first millionaire of anything, but yeah, he quit school like second or third grade to help because that, of course, you're talking again 100 years ago to having to help farm the land and help get the family and but he eventually started his own dry cleaning and was a very successful man in our community with his but yeah, didn't get the million. Sorry, Pap. We could use that, but that's okay, Pap. You did the best you could. So, but that
It's,
amazes me that people, uh, the lack of the education, but they still have the knowledge to know what to do
yeah.
to supply for their family. I don't say supply, but to uh, keep their family up and going and, you know, to stay living.
Yeah, I think we underestimate the power of like having a strong why. If you're really not happy with your circumstance and you're really fired up to create something else, you can do anything regardless of your circumstances. So it's not like my dad didn't have, his family didn't have money. He came from a polygamous family and he was sleeping on the floor in a mud hut. So they
Hmm.
couldn't even afford a house or let alone a bed, let alone education. So, but he said that from the age of about 7 or 8, he always knew that there was something more than that situation. And
Well,
he,
living like that will give you the desire, like you said, to want better. Uh,
exactly.
I would think so because you know as well as I do, there's other people that accept this is the way life is supposed to be, and
Hmm.
they do nothing to help better.
Hmm.
But
Exactly.
I would think I would want better and try
Yeah.
to do what I could to that. So, but everybody's different. Everybody does their own thing, and success is determined of that person what they believe it is. So we go from there. So, all right, go ahead.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it just amazes me that the lack of education, how people can really thrive in life, like you said, with the desire to go.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think pain is really a driver. And yet when I went to London, that's where my pain began. So a lot of our experiences were kind of having moments like days without any food. We'd have hunger pains and go into the kitchen and there was nothing, not even condiments in the cupboards, nothing in the fridge. And sometimes we'd go without electricity and without gas, and we'd have to wear our outdoor jackets inside and do our homework around candlelight. So it was really tough, especially having friends who were not in the same position. They had fully stocked cupboards and they were having dinner around the dinner table. And I'd go and see them and observe that and sort of think, why are we struggling? Why can't we have that? So my dream at that stage was like, I wish one day I can come home to a cupboard full of food. That's all I wanted. So that there was a
Well,
moment
again,
when,
like you said, the pain you went through, yeah, and of course you apparently learned this from dad. You inherit this from dad that I don't want to live like this. I do want better, and we'll do what we can to have better. So
exactly. I think it sparked something in me because of my siblings. So I'm the eldest daughter, and I had my 3 siblings initially, and I just didn't like the fact that my mom and my siblings were suffering. So I felt like I had to do something to help. I don't know where that came from. So really
come
early
from
on,
dad. It came from
maybe
dad. It was
yeah,
inherited gene. Okay,
yeah.
so
When we
I mean,
met,
you watched him, knowing his situation, and now
I didn't
it's
know
yeah.
his situation as a child,
Oh, okay,
so I
okay,
think
okay, okay, okay.
it must
Later
have been
on,
a yeah. We lost contact between the age of 8 and 25, and when we
okay,
reconnected, he was like, "You are just like me," and we were amazed at how strong DNA
okay, okay,
is. Like
okay,
that,
okay. Good, 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 good.
yeah. So. So
So
this
you
this
lost
kind of
the from 8 to 25, mom and dad divorced?
they divorced. My mum remarried. Her second husband became schizophrenic 3 months after she married him. So her
Okay.
attention went to caring for him because she felt that that was her punishment for leaving my dad. So she was like, I'm not going to leave him. And she kind of focused her energy on taking care of him. And then I kind of came the mum of the house. So I was cooking, cleaning, doing homework, doing my sister's hair, and I would like work when I could. So because I was so mature for my age, because I was forced to grow up quickly, the
Mhm.
moms around the neighborhood would ask me to babysit their kids. Sometimes their kids were older than me, or they would ask me to braid their hairs, and I would get like £5 here or £10 there, and I would take it immediately and
All right,
either
hold on
buy.
before we go any further. What's 5
Yeah,
pounds? I know that's your money value. What is that
yeah,
converted? You don't have to give me the exact, but what is that converted so we have an idea how much is that in United States money?
around seven back then, maybe double, like $10. Right now, maybe about $7, $8.
Okay. Yep. I've never converted the pounds. So,
Yeah.
but I've heard, TV. We hear we're watching other things. They talk about 20 pounds of what's a pound? How much is a pound? So we say
Mhm.
we convert that on TV so we wouldn't understand it. And of course, I know they would distract in the movie, but uh, all right. So I was just wondering what that may be converted to. All right.
Yeah, so yeah, I would make money here and there, and I would help around the house, and I would take on a lot of chores and help with babysitting. And my mom ended up having three more children with him, even though he was dealing with his mental health issues. So we started to kind of argue because I felt like I was taking care. She was kind of giving me more dependence.
Hmm.
But that was the majority of my childhood. And then when I went to university, I moved away from the house and went to a university 4 hours away, which was really hard because my whole kind of world was my family. But I had to work like 40 hours a week, and it's 40 hours a week and send money home as well as pay my bills. So I didn't really have the typical student experience. I didn't party, I didn't hang out. I was either studying or I was working. And I think
Studying, is that what we call high school or middle
it was
school or
what you
or,
call
or college
college.
or university
College.
then? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
we call it university. I guess you guys call it college.
We have college and we have university. So,
University. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually the
Yeah.
college is what's my understanding is usually colleges are like a 2-year school and the university is a 4-year.
Yeah. So that's how we have it in the UK. We go to
Okay.
college first, university, and I was at I had to go away for university.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah. So
uh, so you're having to grow up fast with mom and the new husband or new stepdad. So
yeah.
however you want to look at it, you would look at stepdad. But
Mhm.
so you felt like you had to grow up fast to help provide for the family because she's caring for him with his
Yeah.
schizophrenic. Okay.
Yeah. So at university, it was the first time where I saw the my counterparts, the other students, their parents were paying their rent, giving them an allowance, and I was like, "Hold on, parents do this?" And I think
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
I started to build a little bit of resentment, like, why has my mom allowed me to kind of sacrifice my childhood and step into this role? And that frustration created a little bit of tension in our relationship because I started scrutinizing how she was spending her money and how she was managing her finances because I had friends who were living off the government and they seemed to pay bills and eat, but there was never any money at home. So I think in hindsight, she was probably so stressed that money was kind of an outlet for her. It became, instead of drinking, she would just spend money. So yeah, our relationship started to turn at that point. And then I graduated, got my first job, and this drive to provide, I was like, I've got to get rich as soon as possible so that I can buy my mama a house, take care of my siblings. And I was nicknamed a robot in the first job that I had because I'd get in before everyone, I'd leave after everyone, and everyone was like, are you actually going home or are you sleeping in the office? So I was working all hours of the day, and it served me. I went from kind of graduating to making six figures I was 21, 8 months into my first job. So, and it was a commission based job. So I
Oh,
was showing,
that'll make you work. Commission
right?
based. That yeah,
It's
your income is dependent on how much you really get the job done, because you got to do a lot of
exactly.
selling to help convince people to buy into you. So yeah, that'd definitely put you on the hop seat to get going.
Right. So that continued, and yeah, I think I didn't realize the toll it was taking on me to constantly be pushing myself to, because whatever money came in, I gave it out. I never treated myself. I never thought of myself. I never even thought about what I wanted to do. I didn't even want to go to university. I wanted to be a singer, and my mom said, you need to go to university so you can be an example to your siblings. And I said, well, choose my course. I don't know what to study. I don't like studying.
All right,
And
stop
she
here.
chose,
Sing us something real quick. I told you
oh
I told you my
my gosh.
podcast is a little different now. We do things different. So sing us something a little. Let's hear that voice. Let's go
Oh
ahead and
my
blurt it out.
gosh.
Maybe somebody will listen and come grab you.
No, but I'm not a singer. I'm like a shooter. I'll
Oh,
sing something,
okay.
but I'm going to preface it that this is not my thing. I have
Oh,
not sang since I was
okay,
a little
okay. No, but somebody may say I would sing in the shower, and even my dog would holler and scream for me to stop because I know I'm not a singer. So,
What
all
if
right.
he's singing with you?
So, all right. No,
Okay.
if you don't
All
want
right,
to
let's
sing, it's
see.
okay. But
I'll do a quick thing.
I was just going to boom, and then I was going to say, give me 20% if anybody finds you. So, all right.
Okay, so are we doing it or are we moving on?
No, well, it's up to you. If you want to sing a little bit, and I'm all for it. I told you I'm a little different, so we do things different
Okay.
on this podcast.
All right.
So,
So
but
I don't.
if that's a strength of yours, let's put it out there. You don't have to be a professional singer, but if that's a strength, let's put it out there.
I can sing in tune. That's about it. It's not a strength, but I'll sing a little something. I'll do
Okay, yeah, please,
song.
yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him and listen for a while. Okay, we can stop.
That's great. It's a lot better than I could do. So my song would
Thank
be
you.
Your love gives me such a thrill, but your love don't pay my bills. I need some money. All right, that's about as good as I could do. And again, my dog, he would be because his ears would be hurting.
Wagging his tail.
That's because he loves me. So I had to put my
Oh,
boy down 2 years ago. Oh, it was hard. So
I'm
he was
sorry.
a big old lovey dovey. So
Oh,
all right,
see, I'm
so
sure.
let's get back to that. But that was a beautiful voice. So again, if somebody comes calling and wants to get you a record, just come back and give me 20% of everything. So we're good.
Well,
All
I promise.
right,
Great.
please get back to your
Um,
story.
Yeah, so I was working all these hours, and while I was working those hours, I was taking care of my mum's bills. I was taking care of my bills. I was engaged at the time. I was paying for my own wedding. So it just felt like there was a lot of pressure coming from all directions. And about 2 years later, I fell into my first bout of depression. And I didn't know what depression was. I thought it was something weak people went through, and I didn't ever think that I was a
Oh,
candidate for it.
mm-hmm.
So that was my ignorant view of depression. But just pushing myself so hard for so long, I'm not a robot. So I broke. And I would start crying for no reason, and couldn't sleep and just didn't feel like me. And it was one of my bosses that said to me, I think you might be depressed. And I was like, no, I'm not weak. And he said, it's not a weakness. It's just like having a broken leg. You need to treat it. So he gave me 2 months off paid and paid for me to get some
Oh, that's a
therapy.
good employer. That's good for
It
2
is.
months paid to go get this help. So that
Yeah.
shows you how much value that you brought to the company for him to do that, to keep you there. That's good. That's good.
It was really good. I was very grateful. So instead of I didn't think the therapy worked. CBD, it felt like it was making me worse. I'd go in and I talk about why I'm in pain, and then I would feel sad about being in pain, and then I'd leave in more pain. And I was like, this is not constructive. So I stopped going, and I was like, I know what the problem is. My family are the problem. So if I just cut them off, I'll be fine. And that's what I did. And then 2 months later, I was okay, but it wasn't sustainable. So I went back to work and then reintroduced myself into my family. And it took another 2 years or 3 years again for me to fall into depression. But the circumstances then, I had moved jobs and became a partner of a startup. And 2 months before I started that job, I ended my engagement, which was a really big deal because we had been friends since we were 14. And I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with him. So it was a hard decision to walk away. And then I was given an ultimatum at the job eventually, like a few months after, to either keep my opinions to myself or leave. And I didn't really think that I had a choice. So I said, all right, I guess I'm going. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to give power to anyone to dictate how I should show up because they're hiring me. So that's when I decided I'm going to work for myself but I was scared. So all of a sudden now I don't have a partner. I don't have a job, and I'm having to move back in with my mom, and we have a strained relationship. So all of those circumstances happening at the same time triggered my depression again. And I was like, I don't want to go through this again. And if this is going to be an experience I have to keep dipping in and out of, I'd rather be dead. And that's when those suicidal thoughts came, and I took an overdose, and I was caught at 2 a.m. in the morning, taken to hospital. Luckily, I'm still here. So, but
Amen.
that was,
Thankfully.
Yes, that was my rock bottom and the beginning. So one thing that my mom did was introduce me to meditation when I was 8 years old, and we used to meditate all the time. So I think that really helped me for the majority of my childhood. But I felt like I had two different parts of myself. I had one part of myself that had like a close relationship with God and felt like I can manifest anything I want. And then I would flip into this angry, resentful, bitch, and I'm like, why am I like this sometimes?
You can say bitch on my show. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
We're adults. We're adults, so it's okay. All right, go ahead.
I was like, why am I so controlling and resentful and angry sometimes? And then other times I'm like, butter will melt, and I'm so grounded and so zen and so peaceful. And my mom would say, take it to meditation. So I feel like depression was the beginning of me answering that question, because when I fell into depression, I had no control of myself, and I was the one who was controlling myself and everyone in my household. So that kind of got me to put my hands up and say, clearly I have no idea what's going on. I need help. And I started working with a coach. And through working with a coach, I started realizing, wow, I've made all of these beliefs based on my childhood experiences that are affecting how I'm showing up in life, and that are causing me to be triggered by certain things. And I was blaming my family for robbing me of my freedom and my childhood. But I was a participant in that. I showed up in a way, and I trained them to be that way. So I started really focusing, turning the energy and the attention back to me. And when I started doing that, I was like, okay, well, if I had a part in creating this, then I can have a part in changing the outcomes. And that's when my life really started to shift. So did you have a question?
Well, I was just going to just say that one of my I like to say it's a strength. I may be wrong, but for me is I try not to sweat the stuff I have no control over. What you're saying is with mom, the way she did, and taking care of your stepfather with schizophrenic and everything, her drinking and everything, you have no control over that. But yet you were, like you said, being the mom, trying to provide for everybody there. And so you're trying to take control of it, when in reality, you have no control of what they're doing. And then you're using that later on, like I said, a trigger. I tried my best to get everything here. I'm one of them. Yeah, I try to look at it as my mom, like to say, she's going to be 86 next week. She's got dementia, has no control with that mind sometimes now. But I sit there and go, she did her best, which she knew at that time growing up. It wasn't perfect. None of it is perfect. But take the example that she did the best she could. So that's the way I look at it. Is I have no control of of her doing what she did growing. But now, like you said, now you take control of what you can do and
Exactly.
go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the beginning of everything for me. Everything started changing from that point because rather than blaming and wanting everyone else to change, I started looking at, okay, what am I doing? What boundaries am I not setting? What am I not communicating? What am I not asking for? And every time I was able to step into those things, I started to see that there was a shift. And I was able to restore all of my relationships with my family members and forgive them. I was able to grow my business to 7 figures. I was able to eventually moved to Mexico. Like, so all of these things became possible. Whereas before I was thinking that I didn't have a choice but to be kind of caged up in this role that I was playing. And if I didn't control everything and help everyone, that everything will fall apart. And I was able to see that actually that's kind of there was a selfish drive behind that because
Yes, I was. You won't believe this, but I was waiting to see if you're going to use that word
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not selfish for us to want better. It's not selfish for us to want to get out of certain situations. Okay. But other people view it because they're not in your situation that you're being selfish, that you're trying to move on without us. Okay. But
But
yeah,
I
I was
was
sitting there.
being
No, go ahead.
I was being selfish in helping them, because on the surface it looks noble, but when I looked under the surface, I realized, oh wow, I feel important and needed and valued when I'm the one that everyone needs. So there was a payoff for me to be there, and I was robbing them of making their own mistakes and learning
Hmm.
their things and them
Okay.
growing. So I saw the selfish element in that, whereas I didn't. Before I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a good person. I'm so selfless. Look at all of the things I do for you, and you're not even grateful. And I was able to, when I turn it inwards, realize, oh wow, like a lot of this is about me because why am I forcing myself onto them? Why am I pushing them into a way of being? Because if they do what I say and they're successful, I get to say, oh, that was because of me. So
Did you feel
that
like you were being an enabler with this?
absolutely. Absolutely. And then I was getting
Because you were
pissed with,
providing and giving to them, and now you're enhancing because their behavior is not changing because they know they got you to fall back on.
exactly. And then I'm pissed at them for relying on me when I created that reliance. It's just
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm. Hmm.
this, it's this vicious circle. So then I
Yeah.
had to take responsibility of that and start saying no, which was so hard because I'm like, okay, well, if I don't do that, then who am I? Then does that mean I don't have a place in the family? Or is everyone going to stop needing me and loving me? And so there was a lot of things that came up in that. And, but as I was able to do that, there was a little bit of a transition period where everyone was angry at the fact that I was saying no. And then everyone got used to it. It's not that I was just saying no for the sake of saying no. It's just I said no when I didn't have the time, the resources to give. And I gave when I had extra
Hmm.
instead of sacrifice,
Yeah.
because I would go without food for them to go and not have food and then be noble about like, I starved for you. It's like, why am I doing that? How does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's when things started to fundamentally change. And I just saw it had a ripple effect in everywhere. I'd work on setting boundaries in my family, but then it would have a ripple effect in how I was showing up in business. And I was setting boundaries with my clients. And instead of being at their beck and will, I was like, no, this is my business and this is how I work. And you can choose to fall in line or you can choose to go somewhere else. And I'm okay with that. And so it was like the whole saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I started to see that, wow, as I'm shifting myself, everything is having a ripple effect and I'm attracting more wealth and I'm more at peace and I'm healing my relationship. So it became this addiction of mine to do the work, as they say. And that's how
Uh,
that journey of transformation started and continues till this day. Yeah.
well, that's a big word you use too. Become an addiction. because you, again, you were feeling good because you're helping them. But then also being the selfishness, it would be also, I'm doing all this and they're not doing anything to help themselves. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I could see where, and it provide this burnout. I get tired of being the one. Yep. So,
Exactly.
yep. And then it would lead to a depression because now you're fighting your energies. I want to help, but I know I'm not getting thankful for this help. But it's my family. I got to help. And now you're fighting with your mind, back and forth. So,
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. It's like I'm not listening to my needs. My body's saying we need rest and slow down, and I'm like I can't rest because I've got to make sure that I'm making money to take care of every this and this and this. So it wasn't a healthy way of living, and I'm glad that I had the breakdown because when I tell people I was suicidal, they're like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, don't be. I need it. I needed to be broken down to that extreme for me to say clearly. I thought I had all the answers. Clearly, I don't because I'm at this stage. So now I'm open to something new. And that openness allowed me to find a coach and start doing the work and start seeing all of these hidden motivators behind this noble way of being I thought I was showing up at. And then seeing how icky that was like, no, I want something else. And if I love them and if they love me, they will want the best of me. And I would also give them the space to also know that they're capable instead of having me be their crutch all the time because if something happens to me, then what's going to happen to them? So that's when things started to change.
boy, you're using another word, being the crutch for them to fall back onto, for them. So the biggest thing, yeah, I've learned, and uh, we've helped this one friend of mine 45 years. Off and on, he's been in and out of jail because he never learned his lesson. And we've tried our best to show him and help him. And he just falls back on, well, nobody's going to hire me because of my record. Well, doesn't
Mm,
mean you can't start your own lawn more business and be the best you can and still have a good life from there.
hmm.
But yeah, we, and I say we, my family, helped this guy. He was my friend for 45 years, but helped him. But we were in the enabling part because he wasn't doing his part to help out. And so so I understand a little bit what you're going through, not everything. So
Yeah. Yeah. We can't help people more than they want to help themselves.
so
So
how is your relationship and everything with mom and siblings?
we resolved it. My mum died in 2017. And in
Okay.
2016, I had a conversation with her to tell her that I'm grateful for like the circumstances I grew up in because I feel like I wouldn't be who I am without them. So I told her I forgave her, and in that conversation, she finally apologized. She didn't maybe I didn't need it then, and then she said that she saw me as her husband because I was so helpful from a
Mm-hmm.
really young age, and she
Yep.
was scared to mother me because she thought if she mothered me and nurtured me that I would stop helping her. So that was like, oh my gosh. But it kind of made me feel like she loved my siblings more than me. And all she wanted to do was use me as an ATM. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but from
Yeah.
her perspective, she was by herself. And this little girl was just decided to step up to the plate and she wanted to lean on me in every way that she could. So I kind of got a window into her experience a little bit from that. But yeah, we were able to resolve things. I felt like I finally had a mum for a year before she passed. I took her on vacation, and me and my siblings we've also resolved all of our stuff. And yeah, I'm always practicing coming from love and looking at how I can do my part and to shift to affect outcomes. So I don't like having fractured relationships. So, but my
Yeah.
family took a lot of work.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that now. Um, I'm glad that you were able to uh, resonate with mom again. Okay, that's good. I heard someone the other day. She was telling her story, and then people were, oh, and she says, "No, don't feel bad for me because it made me the person that I am," and
Hmm.
which she loved who she was, and I can tell with you, you love who you become from that. So, all right, next little question here. All right. you kicked the romance of your life from age 14. You told him, get out. I'm not doing this now. Have y'all ever tried to get back together? Have you married, sure you dated, but married anybody else?
No,
Any-
I'm single, but he's now married with a child, I believe. So I think we made
so
the
that
best
boat is
decision for
passed right now.
it. Definitely is.
I know,
Yes.
I know this other family, great family. They had both dated and they were strong Christian people, but they both dated, married, but they dated each other. Then they broke up, ended up marrying two different, people. Well, both of them become widows, and then here 20 years later they got back together, and and she passed away with a brain aneurysm. It happened, but for the next 20 years, they were the happiest people they could be because they found their way back to each other. So,
Good.
all right. So,
Good. That's beautiful.
so not to say yours is out of the picture with him, not that we want anything to happen to the wife, okay, but from there.
No,
All right. So nobody else is interested, you're interested in at the moment.
not at the moment, no.
Okay. Well, it's not the worst
But
thing
I'm
in the
open.
world.
So
You you're a lot younger than me. When you're old like me, I'm my time is flying away, so I don't have all this extra time.
curious, how old do you think I am?
I'm betting, and I don't hurt your feelings, but I'm going 32.
32. I'm turning 40 in April.
What is 10 and 40? What is 40?
Yeah.
Okay, but obviously I never guessed that. So you're looking on the good side
Yeah.
of 40 then.
I'm
All
not
right. Huh?
thank you.
So
They say black don't crack, so I'm grateful for that.
I
But
heard that before. That's right. So I'm 61. So I'm a few years older
oh,
than you.
you look incredible for
61.
61.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, all right. So, what's on the dream plan for you now? I know your party companies,
So
you're helping um, first generation women,
firstborn daughters. So
firstborn
there was
daughters.
some
Okay.
research.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was some research that came out in 2024 called eldest daughter syndrome. Some
Hmm.
researchers coined it, but there are this kind of set of traits that the first girl of the family typically take, and a lot of those traits are that they're hyper independent, they're perfectionists, they are A-type personalities, they tend to be overgivers to the detriment of themselves. And I had been working with entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs and coaching them. And I realized that they all possess these characteristics. And it was kind of by accident. I realized that all of them were firstborn daughters, whether they were the only girl, the youngest, the four elder brothers, or the eldest daughter. They had these same traits that I was helping them work through so that they can grow their business, heal their past, and heal their relationships. And I was like, okay, I want to create a community of these women who can do the work that I did, so that they can have a lot more carefree lives and create the lives that they want and have the businesses or career and the abundance that they want to attract. So that's my mission now, to break this generational pattern that seems to
Yeah.
happen
Good.
time
I'm
again.
glad you're again sharing to help this firstborn women, girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. To give them an example. I can see the firstborn being the more motherly, even though they're, like I said, they may be third or fourth in the system, but if they're the first girl, then they try to learn from mom. Not that they try, they learn from mom, being the giver
Mhm.
at point, and being the mother, and they learn that quick, I would think. So
Yeah, I think sometimes they feel, a lot of us, like firstborn daughter, feel like there's an implied pressure. It's not
yeah,
necessarily that they're
yeah.
emulating, it's like they feel like they don't have a choice, which is where the resentment comes in later on down the line, or the burnout, or the depression, and all of that stuff, because they are trying to be a good girl and be accepted by their parents and make their parents proud. So they start taking on all of these expectations.
I got this other friend. I wish she was listening right now, and I'm going to make sure I send this to her because she was a firstborn, and when she had a older brother than the younger brother. Well, late in life, later on, 10, 12 years later, mom gets pregnant and has another one. With this firstborn daughter is the one that cares for the baby, not mom. She's the one carrying her around,
Hmm.
going everywhere. Everybody thought that was her daughter, but reality it's her sister. But she had taken that
Yeah,
trait to become the mother, and mom let her do it. So I'm going to let her
yeah, yeah,
send this podcast, tell her she needs to listen to some of this. So she definitely got that
yeah,
gene to do that. So, all right. Well, I appreciate
yeah.
you
It's
being here. This has been a powerful story, and I'm glad you're sharing to help other women, whether it's firstborn or not, other women to understand where they may be coming from, doing overgiving, learning, the frustration, their depression, and how you were able to overcome. And hopefully, they can use some of this to help them.
Thank you so much for letting me share my story. And yeah, hopefully it adds value to your listeners.
It will. I know that. So, all right, Tay. Appreciate you being here. Go ahead and give everybody your website, your other social media to get a hold of you, any of your coaching, whatever's going on. Go ahead and put that out there.
Sure. Yeah. My website is www.healedhero.com. And I'm on most social media platforms. I'm on Instagram. I'm mainly on LinkedIn in terms of posting. So you can get in touch with me there or via my website.
Good deal. And definitely appreciate you being here. So I tell people selfishly, I get to talk with people like you that I get fired up first. Okay. Unless other people come
Mhm.
in and listen. But selfishly I get fired up first. So you're definitely going to help other people. And I could tell with your smile that you're glad you were a failure in life of the suicide attempt. So and I'm definitely glad you were a failure. And not to one up you, whatever, but I attempted suicide 3 times in 3 days. That's how bad I wanted out of here.
Wow.
And because of that, is what led me doing this podcast now is I want to get other people's message out to the world as much as possible. And I feel this is part of my purpose of not being able to check out. So, all right.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad that
Anything
you
else?
were not successful here.
That's right. A failure. I'm like you. I want to be successful as much as possible, but I'm glad I was a failure in that area. All right. I think we froze up. She's frozen up. See if she comes back. All right. Um, if you can leave us with a powerful message, we know people are hurting and struggling. If you can leave us with a message, that'd be a blessing for us today.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I hear you.
You're
Being able
breaking
to
up
look
now.
back, if you're here now and you're listening to this, oh no.
No, no, you're good now.
Can you
Go
hear
ahead.
me?
You were breaking up earlier.
Okay.
Go ahead with your message
The
now.
message I the message I have for anyone that's listening is the thing that's usually helpful for me is when I'm struggling or I'm going through something,
Oh, you're breaking up here. We're going to try again here for your message. All right.
I
Hold on, people. Don't go anywhere. She broke up again. Yeah, your video's frozen, and so hold on, man. We'll give her time to catch up, and we'll try the message one more time. So, all right.
remember
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad now. We may have to cut her short here. Let's wait a second here. See if we see if she comes back. She's frozen in time. All right. I think we're
all
up. We lost her. We lost the video. we'll give her a minute to see if she'll come back. Because usually when the video goes off like that, she'll come back stronger, and we'll get her. All right, now
Ah,
the you lost you and everything. So I hate to tell you or do anything, but come back with that message now, because I can delete all this other stuff. So come back with your message now. Go ahead, because
okay, I'm gonna try real
usually when
quickly.
the feed comes
Okay.
back, you're strong. Oh, all right, go ahead. No, she froze up again. No, she froze up again. All right. Okay. Well, she froze up again. I don't know if you can hear me, but I guess we need to shut it because good thing about it is I can edit all this part out. So, all right. We're still waiting. We're going to try to give it one more time. All right. She went off. Let's give her a chance to come back. Give her a chance to come back again. Good thing about this, I can edit this part out. So for me, all right. Nothing
Can you hear
spinning.
me?
I can hear you. All right. Last time, quickly, give that message before you go again.
Okay, the message I have is that you're stronger than you know. And you have evidence of that. Because if you're here now and you're listening now, you can look back at all of the hard times that you went through, and somehow they were temporary moments of times and you were able to get to the other
All
side.
right, we
So
got the majority of that time. You're breaking up
if
again.
you're in a
So okay, I think we're
phase
going to
right
take.
now,
Yeah,
sometimes
you're breaking up. So we'll uh we'll take that first part. I got good right there. Hey, if
we're
nothing else, we'll get you singing. So
attracted. Life gives us things.
okay, I think we lost it the third time. I think we need to let's end it here. So let's end it here. I can go back and edit all that. We got a piece of the message, and don't go away. Let me talk to you for a second. So everybody else do something today, tomorrow, something next week. That's going paralysis.